Yay.
Yay.
Yay!
Welcome, everybody. Good to have you all
There's
here.
two Dawns. Oh my God. There's no zero Dawns.
Yeah, Dawn's, which is the real Dawn.
Dawn, Dawn.
There's two Paul. What do you mean two Pauls? Paul.
There's two gentlemen named Paul here.
That's a stretch.
The gentleman part?
Yeah,
Speak for yourself.
I am doing.
There you go.
Tell him, Don. So yeah, I thought tonight we might take a look at self-image.
Honey.
Self-image. What
Interesting.
is a self-image?
It's a story.
Yeah, a story. I'm the type of person who likes this, doesn't do this, whatever.
Expects that.
hmm People react to me like this or that. I have control over this or that.
And they mustn't do this and that.
I'm powerful over this and that.
Or else, yeah.
Yeah. And it has to do with how we think we look to other people too.
Hmm.
Okay, so how many self-images is there? Just one?
No.
Oh,
No.
It's almost like, sorry, go ahead.
Earlier today, I saw this image. It popped up on YouTube, and the guy was talking about something. At first, I thought, "Hey, this sounds quite interesting," and then it got really deep. And he'd got the his laptop set in a way so that it was being seen through a mirror that became an infinite image of the laptop with a laptop with a laptop with a laptop with a laptop. And I just, when you said image earlier, straight away, I'm like, yeah, it's that consciousness reflected in on itself, which then creates this image, which then creates these patterns, which create an identity, which create, awareness of itself and consciousness. And it was just, yeah, look at that's what it is. There's self-image in a graphical form, how it's happening, light reflecting and reflecting and reflecting, and all these different personalities and identities, and always shifting. So there's no, even this thing called the mind, which is itself absolutely empty, is able to somehow create a moving target. So the Paul identity that clicked Zoom, I mean, a few moments ago, is now gone. This is now another Paul identity that's, that idea. So, yeah.
What about you, Michael? Are there any words about that self-image?
oh yeah, we're just getting started
Yeah.
because there is a lot to unpack, as they say. It's way more nuanced and subtle. For starters, you can notice that for something as important as our self-image is to us, it rarely gets actually talked about directly. Like it's kind of unusual to actually be asking, what is it? But as we're going to see, it's not so simple. So I said, is there just one self-image? And kind of everybody kind of went like, no. And we kind of do get the sense that there's like a self-image for every role. So you may have one as a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, a coworker, whatever, a therapist,
Yeah.
all these titles. So the self-image is not one solid entity. countless throughout
Yeah.
the day.
And you can project those self-images in the stories about the future too, and who I will be, and happily ever after in relationship, or successful in career, or rich and powerful, or whatever.
So I have a question for you, Alexis. What is doing that? What is projecting?
Uh, yeah, the one thing appearing as a projection. The one no thing. Per- Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah,
No one to know.
yeah. So to claim it's me, right? To claim it's you, that's a
Mm,
pretty bold assumption, you know?
yeah,
So that's why I like to go into it. Because it's a way more, it's got a lot to it. So for instance, you you can have both, in a way, two self-images for
mm,
every. This is where it just gets crazy, because you can have a version of yourself doing, so let's say, I don't know, you fancy yourself a good house cleaner. Like you just know you're good at that. It's just a natural skill. So you may have, wait, I'm not, or you could have the opposite, right? Because you could think you're a horrible house cleaner. Like you
yeah,
just can't get yourself to clean the house to save your life. Okay, but what's not noticed, whether
mm,
you think you're the greatest house cleaner, and my dispositions is just tends to be neat. I just like, minimal, just minimalistic, easy, and they're both self-images. Whether it's a minimalist simplicity or it's I can't get myself to do anything. I hate cleaning.
yeah.
Those are both self-images.
But this Manny and I went to this AA Al-Anon convention, and there was this over in Estes Park
Mm,
last weekend, and one of the speakers was saying, "I don't want to be too big and bright, but I don't want to be too dull and minimal." So it's like the image. It's like I don't want to be known as a uber neat freak, but I don't want to be known as a slob, And so all of those self-images have
mm.
oh, and the other thing I was thinking of is, have you ever seen those TikTok things where somebody at a business Zoom thing gets stuck where their face is a puppy dog or a bunny? Talk about messing with your self-image, because all of a sudden, like you were going to be this certain thing in this business meeting, and now you're like a bunny, and you can't get, and they can't get it off of there.
Okay, well, let's go with that, Stephanie. So
Yeah.
what would be the difference? So if someone put a dog on your face right now, would you be embarrassed?
Yes.
Okay, so you could go ahead and put a dog on my face. You could. Honestly, I'd probably like it, honestly. Now, especially if it's a dachshund. I love wiener dogs. So which self-image is correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting question because I don't know if you were implying that self-image comes from a type of spirituality, but it feels like it's coming just the brain does it, like
Yes.
the brain automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is it's where we're going.
It's like a fear button gets pressed, fear of the future. Then there's an image of like Alexis, and she's riding on a swan, and everything's taken care of and perfect, nothing to worry about.
I think it's a I think it's a changeling that adopts to its environment. Whatever it's going to be, whatever it's going to be encountering, it's wanting to be safe, and so it kind of adopts to whatever's the other, supposedly other, will accept.
Yeah. But it turns out that we can get lost in that, what the mind wants.
Hmm.
And what I'm suggesting here at this meeting is start to notice the mind. Like to notice it's doing itself. There's ha 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 Paul did it.
All right.
All right.
That's
You,
great. That's great.
Nice.
nice. That's funny.
Oh wait, no. This seems kind of.
So you're saying begin to notice.
Yeah. I think she's really not inspired. She's so
Well,
mean.
yeah, if I like, yeah, because the thing is, you can begin to notice that none of
Oh
the,
my god.
or you could say all of them are you. It doesn't matter. You could say none are you. You could say all are you. Addie, you okay there, girl? You need help? Addie, is she okay? All right, don't bite us.
Oh shit! I didn't realize my mic was on.
Okay, so the self-image, good or bad, and again, it can fluctuate. You could be feeling really good in the morning, like your day's going great. Oh, this is just, and by evening, like you're heading for the bottle. So what's going on there? The mind has a mood has come upon. And if you think you're the mood or you think you're the mind, you're going to suffer.
Whatever image that we're automatically trying to portray as well, this and it is until it's seen automatic. There's still a it's kind of an Alice in Wonderland push me pull you effect. There's a see me see me see me at the same time. There's, oh my god, I don't want to be seen. So each one still has that as its core, that core duality of, oh, please see me. And then, but if they do, they'll really know who I am. And that's so scary. And that dynamic seems to be playing out, whether you're happy or sad, or as you say, ready for the bottle or just waking up.
Well, exactly. So if you think you're involved in all this in the movie, then I don't see how you don't suffer because you're
Mm.
gonna care about the movie and how it goes if you think you're in the movie. But if you're kicked back, in your plush chair at the theater, eating your $20 popcorn, you know, it's a show. It's
Yeah.
it's the one playing every part. I know you've heard that. I know we all hear it's the one, but you can hear it 1,000 times. And on 1,001, something can click and you go, oh, you mean everything.
And what about sort of, is there a difference between self-image and sort of telling the story, before something happens, like making a story about what's going to happen in the future, like those type of
Yeah,
images?
yeah, that's the mind. So you're same thing. You're just noticing the
Yeah.
mind's now making up a
Yeah.
fear of the imagined future that's not here, but
Yeah.
that's what's going on here. In this moment, you can notice the mind's got some story going. And usually once it's noticed, it calms down.
Yeah. Then it's like, oh, never mind. Why would I want to know? Isn't it so fun that I have no idea? Isn't it such an adventure, such a spark?
Well, it's funny, right? Because it's almost as if you can't both believe a thought and notice it at the same time. You're either kind of doing one or the other.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, there's awareness of it, or you're caught up in the personalization of it. Yeah.
Well, so I have a question though. If everything is arising, then why? Okay. Oh, okay. So I guess just what is arising is this story of I am what is arising. Is it, I mean, would that be, because it seems so personalized to me, to it, to
Yeah.
this story.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, why
It's
not?
absolutely
It's not a
true.
denial. So that's
Mm.
why, for me, like the line between duality and non-duality began to dissolve, and all the other lines began dissolving. Like I just couldn't land on any one concept and say it's this way or it's that way. It becomes impossible.
Mm.
Even when the mind appears full, it's still empty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
Wait,
that's a paradox that doesn't, it can't be resolved and it doesn't need to be resolved.
Mm, mm. Had
It's
the
sorry, go ahead.
oh, it's
It's
just
such a cool I'm just gonna talk. It's such a cool thing because I've been thinking about how like whatever this mouth says is just surprise, surprise, surprise. And there's no sort of proclaiming of the truth or even interest in the truth.
Mm.
mm,
Yeah. It's
hmm.
funny, right? Because for most of my life, that was the most important thing. What
Yeah,
is the
what's really
ultimate
happening.
truth of reality? My
Hmm.
God.
What were you gonna say, Paul?
I just it was a couple of weeks ago. I missed the call because here for me it's the 31st of July because I'm in the UK. It's now it's gone 2 in the morning. It's 31st, and it's like for you it's yesterday, and I'm like, but it's all at once. And it's like, oh, how how funny it is that I'm in the future for you guys and you're in my past, and it's all at once. And the all at once is it's like that indivisible kind of aspect. Well, it's just that it's
Yeah,
indivisible, and I'm
yeah,
like,
that's
yeah,
it. That's it.
it's all at once. The time,
Yeah,
it's already all at once, and I
yeah,
was just laughing to myself earlier.
yeah.
Yeah.
I almost want to say it's indivisible no matter how you slice it.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah. And it's fine, if there's a being lost in a story, then what's wrong with that? Who's it wrong for?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, it's so what?
So if everything is perfect the way it is, just the way it is, even with the self images of this, that, and the other, because that's just what's happening. That's this happening.
Right. But Manny, you could see with the mind when it hears the word perfect, it gets an image of what it thinks perfection looks like. It's just
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
isn't that true of every word until it's seen?
The absolute, the
Yeah,
source.
yeah,
Every word is that way.
yeah.
And I'm believing in a certain way with each word.
So it's perfectly imperfect.
Yes. Yeah,
There you
it
go.
really is.
It's
Like,
perfect in its
because,
imperfection.
well, because imperfection is in the eye of the beholder. You know,
Yeah.
a billionaire killed himself because, he lost 900 million. Well, I don't know, 100 million sounds pretty good to me, but it's
Mhm.
just, it's all how you look at it.
Yeah, it's almost like what I was saying is perfect is almost like it is the way it is. And why am I trying to change it? Because it's already the way it should. We also heard this line over and over again. If we could change, we would change. If we could do this, we would have. Whatever it is. So this is it right now, just the way it is. End of story. Yeah. And then the story comes up.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I think about this because of art, and there have been times when like I've had a vision of a painting and I kind of saw it exactly in my mind, and then I created something that felt like it was like straight out of my brain, and I wanted to light it on fire because I felt like it was so boring,
Mhm.
and I just threw it in the garbage.
Yeah, it's funny how that is.
We judge ourselves like that. It's that's part of it.
No, not that it was a judgment, just because there's an aliveness to art, and what feels most interesting is that I don't know what's going to happen. So,
Mm,
when I was sort of less experienced with making art and I wanted to create this vision I had in my mind, I did that several times before I realized how just not interesting it was.
mm,
If I'm
mm.
not interested or having fun, how could I share it with anyone else in this way of giving? Not as a judgment of my art at all, but like that spark about what's interesting.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. That's same with my posts, Alexis. It's got to jack me up. It's got to give me a spark. That's sort of the green light. Like I can share with you guys, I just posted this in the community on Facebook. Um, it's by a philosopher named Soren Kierkegaard.
Mm,
And he said, we fall into despair when we try to become a perfect self.
Yeah,
And when we try to escape the self we hate,
yeah,
either way, we are stuck chasing or resisting a self image.
yeah.
See me, don't see me.
And the story, and we have our stories to tell, but the story of what actually might happen could be like more amazing or more awful than anything that we could make up, right? Or imagine over and over. Not to say that there's anything wrong with imagining, but if there's sort of an imagining as a way, of trying to control, if there's like a knee-jerk image, fantasy, because there's fear, and just like it's gonna be okay, I'm gonna be like on top of the world, you know.
Well, in a way, that's why I would say the me wants it to be okay. And there are just no guarantees.
yeah.
Yeah,
The only moment that's actually interesting is this moment right here and now. Like if you're going to have a good time, there's no other time to do it than right now. So I
yeah,
like to enjoy my meetings.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, like those times when I look back and like, I had tried really, really hard for this external goal and then finally it happened. It was just like I was a deer in the headlights and then it was over in like a flash. It
Yeah.
wasn't like so like, oh my God, yay.
Yeah. Well, they wear off. Like that's what can be seen as all experiences, eventually wear off and then the seeking begins.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then it's gone. That's a lot of like spiritual seeking too, is people are chasing an experience that's absolutely fleeting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was a seeker for decades and decades. It just was this energy of this moment is insufficient somehow.
Yeah,
And the funny thing is, as I in the new video I posted yesterday, I didn't even know what I was looking for.
yeah,
So that's the crazy part about being a seeker. Like your hair is on fire. It's just definitely not this moment. It's coming.
yeah. Not this.
Yeah. Yeah,
Another
not this.
Yeah,
this,
like
this. No.
that's great. It's another this, not this. That's great. But I really like uh is it Alexis? Yeah, what you were saying about art because I really love art and every time I have like this very mechanical idea of what I want to do and it's going to be great. It's going to be really great. And then it's just it's not, and then whenever I just kind
Totally.
of put things together, this especially happens like with collage kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
And then I'll like just kind of leave it alone and just let my hands do stuff. And
yeah,
then I love it, and it sort of reminds me of living, it's like
totally.
Whenever I've got all of these mechanical things I gotta do today,
Yeah.
yeah, it does shut everything off. It's although that's okay too. Obviously, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, Michael, I felt the same way with healing. For me, it wasn't about enlightenment. Enlightenment was just a blind spot, but it was like this image of like who I was going to be when I was healed.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Huh.
I remember my dad as a like a primal scream therapist in the 70s, and I sort of had this image of like if I could just like cry hard enough or scream loud enough, like everything would fall into place somehow. It's like, ah.
Yeah, no, I did Life Spring. I did so many workshops. I like for those of you who don't have never it. So there's this huge thing called EST in the 70s, and then from that sprang, no pun intended, Life Spring. And you know, the thing is about self-improvement, and I actually wrote a book about it. I interviewed Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer and
Wow.
Mark
Yeah,
Victor
yeah.
Hansen and Jack Canfield, who did the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And I forgot what was my point. What the hell
I don't
was
know. It was so interesting. It
It
doesn't,
was cool.
Michael.
It was just cool. And there was primal screaming. So,
You
oh
did
yeah.
ask.
about motivation. So that can be useful for a while, like I said, until it isn't. And then suddenly the motivation cannot work anymore. You can't psych yourself up no matter what you like, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait, it
Yeah,
worked before. Why is it not working?
totally.
It's life showing you you're not the doer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Michael, did you ever do, there was this thing at the same times in the 70s, batakas, where you would have, each of you would have pillows and then you'd like hit each
Oh my
other with
God.
these batakas. That was
That's
kind of all the same.
stuff
Like
we
if you
put
went to a
ourselves
gathering, I was
through.
living in, outside of Santa Barbara, UCSB, and man, the college students were really into all that stuff. It was great, actually.
Listen, if you're desperate, you'll do anything. You'll take
That's
your
right.
clothes off, you'll run in
Anything.
circles,
Yeah.
Anything.
anything.
Yeah, streaking. What about streaking?
Oh, sure.
I did a 50-foot fire walk with Tony Robbins. Come on.
Yeah, gosh. So did nobody ever got burned on those, huh?
Surprisingly, well, I'm not going to say never, but it was
I,
very rare.
I'm
Yeah, it was
amazed. I'm
amazing.
amazed about that one.
Yeah, Tony was hilarious because I remember the very first time we're sitting in the hotel and we're all getting nervous and they're playing kind of creepy music on purpose to kind of, screw with us. And the parking lot, you can smell like the wood burning as they're preparing it. And Tony's up on stage. It's like 5,000 of us. And he goes, now, whatever you do, once you get out there in front of the 50-foot firewalk is don't think of charred, bloody stumps. I'm like, you bastard.
Uh,
But so you would just get kind of in a you were kind of in a trance, and he had you repeat this mantra, cool moss, cool moss. So you weren't
Cool
walking
moss.
on embers, you were walking on
oh,
cool moss, and that's what you're telling your head. It worked. I
Mm.
did it several times. I did a 51, I
Yeah.
did a couple tens. I never got burned. I don't know what to
It
tell you.
all works,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
temporarily, like
explain
it
it.
all does.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, there's two ways to watch a magic show. You can try and figure out every trick. It's not very fun, but it's something to do. Or you can just enjoy the show.
hmm.
Hey, give us a magic trick, Michael,
I will.
of the self-image.
Michael, was there an image that you
Yeah.
had speaking about images,
Yeah.
like when you were going to be enlightened? Like, was there an image?
Well, it's funny. As I said, I didn't know what I didn't really have a clear idea of what it was enlightenment. It's sort of like the seeking is a rejection of this moment. There's an energy. It's not just a thought. You're not doing it's
Yeah.
Hmm.
energetic. This is home. This is my location. This is where I am. It really feels real. And then I don't know how, but eventually that can just begin to thin out. And it can be slow
Yeah.
and it can backtrack and you can do the
Yeah.
washing machine, meing and being. It's very normal. Everybody goes through it, that pretty
Yeah.
much. And then eventually it can begin to calm down, a little more. And it may pop up again. So
Yeah.
it's never a finished, this is what I want to say. It's never, I don't see it as a destination.
Oh yeah.
There's really something I want to say about that. Like today, or I don't know how long lately, it's just been so much me. It's been crazy. It's like, and I couldn't really detect it, but there's like this seeking, and it just like how Michael said, like I didn't know what I was looking for, but this didn't feel right, and it was just terrible. On and off it stopped, but but what happened was someone really close to me said that they wanted to stop talking for a little bit.
Oh.
And then it was really sad. And then I watched a YouTube video and then I was like, okay, I gotta go be in my feelings. So I went and smoked some weed and sat on the porch. And then just this like volcano or waterfall of feelings just kind of poured out and I was just like I called my mom and I ranted and all this shit. So I just talked and talked and talked. And what happened was I went fully into that me energy, that need, that one second, that self-rejection. And I wrote about it and I just like I had no clear destination or reason why I was doing it, just out of like I have nothing else to do but to just fall into it or just, you know.
Yeah.
So after that, it just passed. And then
Mm.
I went on a walk. It was a good time.
Nice.
It was so beautiful. So that's why I want to talk about like you can want yourself to be in this state so bad, but it just brings you further away. And you don't really have a choice on how it goes. You really don't. And you just have to forgive yourself because this sadness inside, this fear, it's just so innocent. And it's just because maybe you've been told that there's something wrong with you or that you need to change in some way. And it's just really sad and it's really innocent. And uh, that's all I really want to say. Just let it be. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Feeling the grief, like the feeling, allowing the feeling to live and die in the body.
I thought about you earlier this week, Addy, because my 15-year-old daughter was sat in my kitchen and she said something and I kind of looked at her and I thought, what's going on here? And we ended up where she said, I don't know what the words are. She said, I don't know how to explain this. And I immediately knew she wasn't talking about anything specifically. She was talking about this. And I said, yeah, I mean, are you okay with the fact that there's no words? And she said, well, yeah, because I know that I don't exist, but I just, and then she just went, and it's just, and there's just, and she just kept doing that. It's like expressing the fact that there's
Yeah.
this, which she said, I can't give you that word. So she just left it blank. And then she kept saying, but there's no words for it. I can't do it. I can't do any more with that. And then she just went back into being a 15-year-old girl. She says, oh, can such and such stay tonight? And, and it's just like, wow. Just, it was
They can come
so
in any
clear.
age, motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah, so clear.
Yeah, I always think back, Addie, I think it was a couple of weeks ago where you were going, I'm just not going to lie around in bed all day. So I got up, I went out, I saw somebody I hadn't seen for a while. We walked around, I forget what you did, but it's like that's it, It's like, so I got up, I did stuff, and yeah, and I don't know, I thought that was kind of fresh.
Mm.
It was nice.
I was sitting with a friend, a homeless friend today on a bench that I have been seeing from time to time, saying hi. And I asked him today, I said, "How's life? How's life, man?" And he's like, and he kind of thought about it for a moment, and took his time. And then he was like, "It is." I was like, "Yes, it is. Yes." It's like it just
Yeah.
is.
I love homeless people.
Yeah.
I have like many homeless friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Undeniable. There it is, right? You could call whatever this is, you could call it life, the infinite, freedom, you could call it this, you could call it anything. Here it is. Mm.
Yeah, the thing about the self-image is it was always kind of ephemeral, like not there very much and kind of didn't stick around. It was just never, you could never really count on it, It's like, um,
Well, but Stephanie, it's ingrained at such a young age. Like they stopped doing it. But back when I was a kid in elementary school in the 60s, you could order these bracelets with your name on them and your
yeah,
religious symbol. You put the money, I think it was like, I don't know what,
Yeah.
$2, a dollar, something. You put it in an envelope, and like magically a week later, the teacher would like call out the names and hand you an envelope, and it would have your name on it. And, I was so proud. I mean, I look at that. There's my name. I'm somebody. I have a
Woo!
bracelet. Hopscotch. I could use it. I mean, it was practical.
Yeah.
and they were called identification bracelets. I mean, because that's me, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Well, it's watching our little great grandchild, it's like the first time we saw her, she was just playing around and stuff. And this time she has this little brother now and she's going, this is Aspen's toy and Aspen's doggy and now it's like the turf. It's the turf, let the turf wars begin, So,
Well, but Steph, it's everywhere, right? Because I don't know
yeah.
why,
Yeah.
but I love watching nature videos, and some of them can be quite brutal. Like they'll fight for turf. All it takes is one wrong something at the watering hole, and suddenly the rhinos and the elephants are at it.
Yeah, just put up a hummingbird feeder and you're in for a fight. So,
There's that beautiful stage of development when, when we start to get this sense of possessiveness or mine, and the terrible twos, which is when you're really forced into taking the identity on. I think there's that sense of, wait a minute, I'm the center of the universe and you want me to be this, and then you take it on, and then at that point it's like, that's mine, that's mine. If you're looking at that, that's mine. If you're even thinking about looking at me, looking at that, that's mine.
yeah.
And if it fell on the floor, it was mine. And when you open that door, if it walks through, it's mine. And it's just like possession, 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 possession. So, which I think is
Yeah.
you're really starting to possess the idea of self. And often, because I've got 7 children, 2 grandchildren, and
Wow.
when you watch that stage, they often don't say I first. They say my. They say
Mm.
my can do that, and you
Oh,
can sense that possessiveness to it. They don't really understand the I, and they're kind of, how are they I and I'm, so I can't be I, so it's my. And then eventually they take that kind of cognitive leap into being something that doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's both beautiful and sad at the same time. But
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was sitting with a man in assisted living, and you could say he's lost his mind because his memory's gone. And yet it's like the child. Just being there with him, you can sense that there's the essence is there. And there's it's just that oneness there. It's not identified with anything. And everybody that goes there, the wife and even me, I was asking him, hey, do you remember the Tai Chi and stuff? And there's nothing, no response. See? And because there's no identification, no ownership of anything. There's no self-image. There's just, at least that's the way it seemed to be. It may be different, but that's the way this mind can conceptualize something that was there prior to as a child, and then as it goes out, it's the same way. It's just loses its identity, and it's God's will. It's or not. It's just this. It's what's happening.
How are people's self-image when they catch the image in the mirror? Because I've always found that quite striking. Every time I look, there's a double take. Who's that? And also the sense of age that comes with it. I find it very difficult to know what age is. How do people feel about that one?
Who here doesn't feel like any age? Yeah, I couldn't tell you how old I am. I mean, in human years, yeah, I know I'm 65, but inside, so to say,
Mm,
I don't get a sense of any age.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
And I find for me it's really dependent on who I'm with. So I noticed this last weekend I was at a festival with my 15-year-old daughter, and I was very much enjoying the music. We were dancing, and so much so that I ended up blowing my knee out, and it's all swollen and painful. And we had mushroom coffees and a cacao ceremony, and there was just it was like, yeah, I'm 15 years old kind of thing. We were at one in at the end of May with my 12-year-old daughter, and she didn't want to go out and see anybody. She felt really distant, and I was just the same. I just felt really contracted, and I felt, and then we were doing something at the weekend and talking about a certain age, and I'm sat there and I'm looking around, and it's like, shit, how do you do this? One moment you feel like you're 10 years old, the next moment 15 or whatever, and it's just really such a cool experience to kind of be so fluid. Yeah. And
Mhm,
the identification with the age is there, but it's not, oh, I'm 15, but that's the feeling of it. It's just the feelings there, and it's like amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, you can begin to notice your attachment to numbers. Like I was out for a walk today. It was a nice warm day here in LA, and I was looking at the address on our apartment building, 1516, but they're just numbers. It just happens to be 1516. So my brain goes, oh, that's where I should be going. That's my place.
Mm.
But what if it was 1573?
mhm,
Then that I would be saying that to myself. So you can begin to notice that the numbers are neutral.
mhm.
Mm.
So the freedom is that there's no right or wrong way. So is a freedom. So if you're pissed, you get to be pissed because that's what's happening. If you're happy, that's what's happening. It's so in the moment. It's so just what's happening that it becomes obvious it's not you living the moment. You're not living this moment. In a way, that's the suffering.
Mhm,
Mm. This moment is always living the you.
mhm.
Doesn't matter what the moment is.
Beautiful. What is the moment if we take all the words away from it?
I find that the moment becomes much simpler when I take the words away from it.
Hmm.
You know, the complication is always in the mind. It's like, I'll tell you something. So I teach chess, and the schools are now contacting me to hire me for in the fall when school starts in September. And I have to carry insurance, even though I'm a chess instructor. So I teach chess. I don't know, maybe some kid's going to launch a bishop into some kid's eye. I don't know. So I have to have $1 million insurance.
The
So,
Wow.
rook.
and I hate filling out forms. Anybody relate? I
Yeah.
hate sitting there for sitting there filling out, but I had to do it. Is the insurance, they're just grueling. And I'm like, oh, I so hate doing this, but I have to. And I was honest. And then I kind of like had a little epiphany. I was like, well, I know someone who likes doing this shit. Hey, mind, how'd you like to help me out, bro? And it was
Yeah.
excited. It was like the kid in the back of the room that couldn't wait to help. And finally, he could be the star. And he's like, "Hold my beer." And within 10 minutes, the thing was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The belief creates the attitude. Yeah. Who are you? You got your thing off.
Oh, me? And
Yes.
then it says like, did I do a good job? Like it wants all this like self-congratulatory stuff.
Yeah.
You did a great job. Good job.
Ownership. Yeah. The image wants to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but
And sort of, am I better than, less than? Like, where
wait,
do I
wait,
fit in?
wait, back the truck up because the image wants to be acknowledged. Who said that? Was that
Back
Manny? Who said it?
No, it wasn't Manny.
Who said the image wants to be
Alexis.
acknowledged?
Alexis?
Alexis,
Me?
you said the
What did
image.
you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was Manny.
So
Maybe, I don't
Oh,
know.
oh.
that explains why it never lasts. Like
Yeah.
that's why you can't give yourself a compliment and stay on top because that
Yeah.
image is endlessly wanting your approval.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
It,
called it the bottomless basket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never satisfied.
The all-you-can-eat buffet for the mind.
Yeah. Because it's an image. It's a false self. It comes and goes. It's impermanent. Yeah.
So that's why I talk about this as a noticing. So it's not a doing,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
It's noticing that the image isn't
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
What do you think, Don?
I know. He was like,
Hey, Don.
is Dawn here?
Can you hear
Yeah.
us, Don?
Here.
He's on mute.
I'm only seeing like one, two. I guess
Blink twice for yes.
we don't. Oh, there we go.
He's got his headphones
I
on.
can't believe Dawn is here and he hasn't said anything.
Oh,
What's with that?
the mushrooms are peaking. Come on.
Yeah. Great job tonight, Don.
Yeah, best
Woo!
work ever.
Yeah. Don, you're also right and wrong about all of this.
Yes. Yes. You are. You are. And better and worse. You
Yeah.
are.
Hilarious.
Best and the worst.
God,
Woo!
look at Don doesn't even have to speak now, and he just wow.
Still the star of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
damn.
He's both imperfectly perfect and perfectly imperfect.
Oh,
Where,
man.
where's Paul Schwartz from?
Yeah, we
What?
haven't heard
Miami.
from Paul Schwartz.
Miami,
Miami.
Florida. Yeah,
Oh, you're pretty hot over there. Like it must be warm.
it is very warm,
Yeah.
very humid.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
Paul, how's your self-image doing? We're,
Yeah.
we're checking in on everybody's
Yeah, let's
self-image.
check in. How is it, Paul?
This Schwartz image.
Yes.
Uh, hmm. There was a meeting that Michael was running. I forget how many days ago, and I guess I'm just going through some existential angst. So my self-image
Mm,
is in crisis mode, slightly.
mm,
So yeah, there's a lot going on.
yeah. Mm,
So, but I'm glad. I used to attend these groups years ago, and I'm glad I'm getting back into it. It
nice.
feels good to just be part of a community and hear what people have to express and what wants to flow through them. So, I mean, the self-image thing for me is hard because I'm a classical pianist by profession, and I'll tell you to let go of that because everything so much rides on that quote unquote self-image in terms of perfection and like, the fear of fucking up, and it's it's not an easy one to drop. I'm
Yeah.
working on it, but it's not an easy one to drop.
Yeah.
My father's a professional pianist, and I performed
Oh,
as a
really?
child music as well. So yeah,
Oh,
blah
wow.
blah. Me.
Yeah.
So fascinating.
Wow.
Wow, a pianist and the primal scream. What a combo your
Yes,
dad.
what a combo. My
Yeah.
father has really come up today.
Actually, it's interesting you mentioned that because I studied the work of Arthur Janoff, who
Yeah.
was, yeah, and there was a man in Miami that it was actually quite healing for me. He was
Mm,
a sort of proponent of that work, and
yeah.
I mean, I hear what Michael was saying, which it's like if that's what you got to do, quote unquote, as part of the path. But it was quite healing for me. Not an end all be all by any means, but it
Nice.
was very healing.
Yeah, there's something to be said for sort of speech. What is it, Michael? You have something to say, I can tell.
Well,
Yeah.
I do. I was just going to say that all paths lead to Rome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything will take you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever interests you, just go all the way. Take it as deep as you can go.
Yeah.
Don't stay on the surface because that's how the illusion, the self-image gets you, is you just stay on the surface. If you go into it and say, well, what is it? What is it? And
Hmm.
get quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all path leads to Rome. All paths lead to Rome, and all there is Rome.
Oh,
Yeah, there is a room.
oh,
Well,
well,
earlier when we were talking about, maybe it was Addie, talking about was it sadness or something, the innocence of sadness. And I realized I don't ever want to leave sadness alone. I want to like eat something, do something. I don't ever just allow it to be it, be. And so that's an illustration, I guess, of my whole life. Just let it. Hey, turns out "Let It Be" was, of course, we know the Beatles were right, and so were the hippies, as it turns out. But
sadness is beautiful, you know? Sadness, it has a quality like there's nothing like a good cry. I don't cry that often. Probably most guys we don't. We tend not to. But I tell you, when I do cry, I always feel better afterwards.
Mm.
yeah,
I cry like maybe 46 times a day and laugh probably more.
It can be a release. It's a relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how we're all wired differently, these physical things?
Mm.
I love that. That's so weird, guys. It's crazy. I'm really obsessed with that, you guys. That is weird.
what,
What?
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 So we're
Our
all so
wiring.
different. I can't.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
It's
There's a
cool.
protein layer over the eyes. When we cry, it gets washed away, and that we have to release endorphins to create the protein layer again. So a good cry is actually very good for you. So yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I gotta love crying. Yeah.
Put that in
We had
writing
a
and
good
send it to me.
Mhm.
we had a good cry at the weekend at these two wonderful ladies that parked up next to our camper van, and they're both in their 50s, and they do a podcast about menopause, and one's a therapist and stuff. And anyway, we got straight into some deep stuff, and they were going to get a coffee, and the whole day was, well, we're going to go and watch this band and watch this band, then we're going to do that. And they said, actually, we're going to go and get a coffee and just come back and sit with you and get into some deep shit. And then my daughter was there as well. We sat talking, and one of the ladies started talking about her grandfather that had recently passed, and that he was Scottish, and he was small, and he was bold. And my daughter's grandfather, so on her mother's side, we're not together, he'd recently passed, and he's Scottish, and he's short, and he's bold. And I knew immediately from the emotion wise, like, oh, she's upset. And then as I looked at her, in the distance, bagpipes started playing.
Wow.
And she got up, and I says, "You okay?" And she's like, "No." And she went in the van, and I just sat there, and all three of us just in tears immediately. A completely shared moment. It was not one, it was just boom. And we all looked at each other. It's like, oh, and they both said, I really wanted to give her a hug, but it's so important for her to experience what she's experiencing. And I was just sat there, and it's like, this is so fucking cool. People have just pulled up next to me, and we're having a life together as if we've always known each other. And she was so grateful for the fact that we let her have that experience as well. It was beautiful. And that sadness, that quality of sadness, wasn't something that we rejected. We all felt it, and we just cried and enjoyed it. It was, amazing.
Yeah, sometimes a single honest tear can be more impactful than a 10-minute dialogue.
Mm. Yeah.
Any
Like when
last
you're sad,
comments?
you don't really
Oh, go ahead. I was going to ask if there's any
when you're
last.
sad, you don't want someone like yapping to you, you know? Like it's just there's something sort of dismissive about it sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, learning to listen is kind of a lost art. It took me a long time to learn to be a good listener.
Nice.
Yeah, really, that's what people really want. Often I don't do anything. I just listen and nod, and afterward, oh, thank you. That was so helpful. It's just
That was
about
great talking to you. Right, basically.
yeah,
Great
good
talking to you. You
talking
haven't
to you.
said a word. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like the space itself does the healing.
Yeah.
hmm
Being with that man was that same way because he wasn't saying much and I wasn't either.
Yeah.
And it was pleasant. It was just,
So,
yeah,
so I do need to say something. Is that the man that Manny's talking about is this my Tai
yeah.
Chi Sifu, my Tai Chi guy, and he was my
Mm.
teacher, and I was his assistant, and then he had all these strokes, and now he's in a rest home, and I'm teaching the classes, and I don't want to go see him because I'm afraid I'll just be horribly sad
Mm. Mm.
because maybe I still think there should be someone there. I don't know. But and Manny keeps talking about going to see him, and I've been too freaked out. Anyway, I guess because I believe there's a person there, and now he's gone. So apologize. That's kind of last minute.
Yeah, speaking of my dad, because that's all we're talking about today, he has dementia, and last year he sort of held up a broccoli, and he was like, cabbage, and I was like, no. And this year yeah, and it was kind of funny. My dad's memory was always just absolute, like, like we'd go on these vacations and we'd get some Martha's Vineyard. I'm from New York, and like my mom would be like, "Where are the suitcases?" And he would have left them, on the lawn, and we would have to go back and like drive, 3 hours or whatever. And but that kind of stuff happened all the time. So I never really thought when he started to lose his memory, I was like, he's always been like that. You know, I never really thought anything. But this year, I went to visit him a couple weeks
Mhm.
ago, and he asked me who my father was. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Mm, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It's just we're not the attributes, what we think we are. We're the sort, the very source, and that's just a word, but it's already okay to be who we are
yeah,
and allow them to be who they are, where they are.
Mm,
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I go see him, I'm expecting something, I'm expecting him
Mm,
to A, know who I am, know who he was.
hmm.
And that is simply not going to happen.
Yeah,
yeah.
I will say that even though my father may not have known what the fuck was going on or who I was, he was so warm to me that it was
Yeah.
all hugs. He was holding my hand. There
Yeah.
was so much love there,
Yeah.
and we had a great time anyway.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes when we're uncomfortable in these situations, it's because innocently we make it about us.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, if you put if you understand that it's about them, however, then
Yeah.
there's the presence.
You know, that
Right.
that was really important. That was something I struggled with my grandmother, who had a rare form of dementia, and she lost, sort of everything. And people would say, why didn't you go and see her? And I say, well, the first time I saw her, she broke down into tears and was really upset. So I went again. The second time I saw her, she asked me how the twins were. There are no twins I have no twins. And then when I said to her, oh, but I don't have twins, Nana, she broke down and was really upset. And I said I couldn't go again because it wasn't me getting upset. It was her.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't go back because every time I saw her, it was a real breakdown, really it was upsetting me. That was upsetting me,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But I also knew it's like, no, there's something that, there's some catalyst there that she's finding difficult, and I couldn't do it. And then one day there was a party going on because she lived in a care home, and everybody was taking the coats through to, well, she'd been moved into a different room. I didn't realize, and they were taking the coats through to her room, and they're just putting them on the bed and walking out, putting them on the bed and walking out. So I took mine and put them on the bed and walked. And I turned around, there she was, sat in a corner in the chair, completely oblivious to the whole thing.
Oh,
And I was just this frail lady that I didn't. It was clear then that she wasn't there. Grandmother wasn't there. Whatever was there, it was like that's whatever's animating that doesn't know that it's here. And it was, and yeah, just put your coats on the bed and coats, and she's just sat there, and I didn't know how to deal with it, and so yeah, I get it. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah, you said, Paul, it's a good one to end on. I don't know how to deal with it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Mwah.
thank
you.
you.
I love all of you. Have
Love
a
See
you
good
guys.
you.
night, everybody.
Mm.
Amen.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.